Okay, here we go. We're live. Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope everybody is enjoying some coffee or tea. I know I am, and I'm always showing the mug because I love this mug. So I hope that you're enjoying some yummies as well. I don't know if you're coffee, tea, or maybe somebody that likes to drink some juices or let's see, who do we have here? Vegan of Love. Hey, it's nice to have you on. Thank you, Lorraine, for being here today. And so everybody, listen, we're starting a new thing. So StreamYard started a brand new policy, and I'm going to put this up right now. Hey, Heather, good morning. Thanks for joining. It's good to see you on the show today. I'm very excited. Today we have an amazing show. Hey, Sherry, nice to see you on. So friends, if sometimes it's not going to allow you to put your name up on the screen. So if you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, you have to grant access for the Facebook portion to connect with you, to connect and allow your name to show up. So here we go. We have the Vegan of Love joining us today. Love that name, by the way, because that's what it's all about. It's about taking care of the environment, the earth, the animals, and the people all around us. And of course, Heather's here. Heather does a lot of work in Africa, so today's going to be an amazing show. Actually, as a matter of fact, today's guest I met through Heather. So it's a very exciting day today. And Sherry, it's nice to see you on. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here today with us. And let's see. Heather's got coffee and greenery. There you go. That's a perfect morning to have. And hey, it's my Aunt Betsy. Hey, Aunt Betsy, thank you for joining us today. I hope you're drinking coffee as well and enjoying it. And Coralie, thank you. It's nice to have you on here this morning. Good morning to you. No, I know. Good morning. Yeah, it's okay. I often get hit by autocorrect myself. So, by the way, if you're typing it in and you're not seeing your name come on, just go to StreamYard.com Facebook, and then you will be able to allow an entrance into it. So, as we all have our coffee this morning, today we're going to talk about coffee because coffee is one of the most prevalent things in our world, coffee or tea. But coffee has a very long problematic history. And today we're going to discuss it, and we're going to discuss how one person's efforts is working and fighting to change that and turning coffee from a very problematic issue over into a beautiful way to consciously change the world around them. And that is our guest today, Gilbert. So Gilbert will be joining us here soon. Give me 1 second. I am going to go ahead and make sure that I can see everybody that's on here and everybody cozy up. By the way, if you do want one of these mugs, you can go to my website, ericecrown.com, and you can order one. Boom, there it is. So you go right down there, and if you go to shop, you'll see that we have the mugs for sale. And they're very inexpensive, and they're nice size, and they last well. And hopefully you can find a way to put in some conscious coffee into there. So let's see who else we have on with us today. Okay, here we go. Whoops. All right, everybody. So without much more ado, let's go ahead and start off today's show because I'm very excited. We have a lot to talk about today. And there is a lot that we want to go over. Again, coffee is something that it's part of all of our lives, but we don't really think about it. But before we begin the show today, I want to start off with one of my favorite parts, which is our quote. Now, this quote today is a quote that directly relates to my guest, Gilbert, because I think what Gilbert is doing is changing the world by moving forward and creating a brand new reality. And today's quote is this. It's from Socrates. Now, if you're not familiar with Socrates, Socrates wrote a lot of the Platonic dialogues. He's sort of considered one of the grandfathers of Western thought. And in this photo, Socrates is actually being killed. He was sentenced to death for speaking the truth and getting people to think critically. So they actually condemned him for poisoning the minds of the youth and had him drink hemlock. So Socrates said, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So that's incredible. And if you think about it, that's what we need to do. We need to take what happened, we need to learn from it, and we need to move forward, which is what our first guest today is going to be doing. So, oh, hey, we have Bruce joining us. Hey, Bruce, it's nice to see you on here today. Hope you're doing well. And here's Sherry. Hey, Sherry, good morning. It's nice to see you. And I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday so far. I appreciate everybody being here. It's great to have this online community, this online family. I've missed you guys. It's been very busy. I have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about next week. But before we can even do that, let's wake up our brains, let's wake up our minds, and let's talk about coffee, which, again, we're going to go back to the most important thing. So now the thing about coffee is it is so prevalent. 63% of American adults drink coffee daily. Now, that's just America. But I wanted to put these images up because coffee is always presented to us in such a positive fashion. Look at all these people. They're all very happy. They are having the best time of their lives because they have coffee. Now, as anybody that drinks coffee knows, you kind of do get that. You get that feeling of, oh, this is going to be a great day. I'm drinking coffee right now. So we're all part of it. You know, when I was in the Amazon, deep in the Amazon, we would make coffee by boiling it, boiling the water, and then using leftover t-shirts, socks, anything we could find to actually put the grounds in and filter the coffee. So we went to great lengths in order to have coffee while we were out in the Amazon. So hey, I see Gilbert, and all right, we're going to bring Gilbert on here in 1 second. I'm just going to give a nice quick introduction here. So now coffee is a huge industry. In the US alone, it's worth $134 billion, and coffee is growing at the rate of 5.5% per year, and they estimate this to continue up to 2024. So companies like Starbucks make $36.6 billion a year. Peet's Coffee, $500 million a year. Other places like Nespresso make up to $4 billion a year. Now, if you're not familiar with coffee, coffee comes from areas that is called the Coffee Belt. And this is a guide here that'll show you all of the areas. And you can see here's Uganda, where we're going to focus today. Uganda is one of the major coffee producers. As a matter of fact, Uganda is the number 8th coffee producer in the world. That is massive. Just imagine that. Uganda is the 8th coffee producer in the world. And that's why my guest today is so inspiring, because this is something so important to be one of the major coffee producing regions. Now, again, I just wanted to show you the Coffee Belt. Now, many of you may or may not know, but all coffee is grown in this particular region, latitudes and longitude of the world. This is called the Coffee Belt. All through America, South America, Africa, Asia, even the top of Australia. So coffee production only comes from certain areas. Now, the problem with coffee, we're about to bring Gilbert on right now, everybody, but the problem with coffee is that while we always see these images of people smiling and being happy while they drinking coffee and having this beautiful experience with coffee, the reality of coffee is it's a leftover of colonialism. Coffee was created and often done through the exploitation of slavery. Now, there's a thing called the Dirty List, which is published by Brazil every year, and it lists coffee producers that are doing things that, okay, so they're basically in the Article 149 of Brazilian law, these are the 4 reasons that coffee is not good. Now, they rate every company based on forced labor, debt bondage, degrading conditions, excessive work hours, and they're brand new, 48 brand new companies came in this year. By the way, one of them, and this is very important, Starbucks and Nespresso, which is Nestle, and again, Nespresso is a $4 billion a year industry company. These companies source their coffee from local growers who are on this dirty list, as it's called, that's created by Brazil. So, you know, Starbucks says that they have a great program. We lost Gilbert. Hopefully he's going to be able to get back on. Here he comes. So anyway, that is the basic setup. You got to remember, coffee is sold as the most wonderful thing in the world, but it is problematic in so many ways. But one man has decided to change that. And today we're going to talk about how Gilbert has taken this colonial, problematic industry and turned it into something super positive. So everybody, please welcome to the show, Gilbert. Hey, Gilbert, good morning. Let's see, can you hear us? We may be having some connection issues. Gilbert is out in the field here. Okay, well, at the moment, we're waiting for Gilbert to come join us again. So as soon as his signal kicks back in, we'll bring him back on. This can always, here's the problem when you do live shows. Sometimes the internet does not want to cooperate. So now I'm very excited to have Gilbert on because quite honestly, this is a huge inspiration. You know, here at the Conservation Conversation, we always talk about ways that we can improve the world around us. Just like Socrates said, we can't worry about what happened before, but we have to focus on how we can change what's happening in the future. And this is very, very important. Heather says, Camp Coffee, we did it in a saucepan. The ground sink and stay to the bottom. You pour off the top. Exactly. There's always a way to make some good coffee. And Nestle, yeah, there's not enough bad things to honestly quite say about Nestle. Between their bottling water, their exploitation of labor and resources for their chocolate production, and problems with where we are. So here we go, everybody. We've got Gilbert back. Hey, Gilbert, can you hear me? Oh, okay. As we can see, he's out there. And I'm going to show you guys, while we're waiting for Gilbert to connect here with us, here he is. Here's the man himself, Gilbert. Now, Gilbert has created a program. We just lost him again. We're going to keep trying to connect to Gilbert. But Gilbert has created a program that will harvest coffee. And this is some of the beautiful coffee that Gilbert and his company produces. And let's see. So Starbucks still has exploitation issues now. Yes, they do. Starbucks say that they use this thing called the CARE standard, which is supposedly allows them to source from good sourced products. But the dirty list in Brazil has shown that all of the local coffee producers in Brazil that they source from actually use slave labor and have many other issues. So Starbucks, my friends, please, as easy as it is to go to Starbucks, it is very dangerous. Now, we're going to give you guys some great solutions by the end of today's show. And I want to make sure that you know that you can buy coffee from Gilbert's company. And Gilbert's company is one of the many companies that's trying out this new method. Now, what Gilbert does, which is very innovative, is he runs a poacher reform program. And here are some of the guys that are poachers. They come in and they turn in their weapons and they learn how to produce coffee. And the coffee that comes in continues to run the poacher reform programs, as well as helps benefit the children. And Gilbert makes sure that the money goes to around 200 of these orphans that are actually orphans that are parents that are killed, that are poachers, which is a whole other complicated issue. There he is. Hey, Gilbert, how are you?
Hello. Hi, everyone here.
Man, it is so great to have you on the show.
Yeah, that's very awesome. I'm very happy to see you.
Man, I gotta say,
I'm very happy.
Go ahead.
Yo, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm grateful for that. So Africa's service was very bad, so I couldn't hear you very well. I decided to climb high in that tree. Right now, I'm very high in the tree to get the clear surface. But I hope right now you can see. It's very high up. Yeah,
that's amazing.
But finally, I made it.
That's great,
that
man.
is it. So I'm very happy. Yeah.
But you're the first guest I've had high up in the tree. But I think that doesn't surprise me because you are a man of solutions. What I like about you is that nothing can stop you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Eric. Yeah.
So Gilbert, what I wanted to let everybody understand the program that you have started and how it benefits the people and the children in your area.
Yeah. The topic today is about the organic coffee that is grown in Uganda. You know, Uganda is among the countries which produce the best coffee in the world. So, in my area, as you know, I live in between the two national parks, that is Queen Elizabeth National Park and Wind Impenetrable Forest National Park. So, I decided to use this opportunity, taking this opportunity to use this coffee as the way of promoting conservation in my area. You know, most of the people here are poachers.
Hmm.
Poachers, and you know, conservation started way back in 1950s. So the armed rangers were employed in the national parks to protect these animals, these wild animals. So um, the challenge comes in when we lose many animals, many wild animals here. As well, we lose our people. I decided to use this chance to know that this coffee is on high demand worldwide. So this is what I'm intending to do using this organic coffee. This is truly organic coffee that is grown without any chemical substances in this area. Just mechanical means there are no chemicals used here. So to know that this is the first class coffee, I decided to use you, Eric Ikron. You're my friend. So, how I would like to use this coffee to promote conservation of Africa, Africa's wildlife. Um, First of all, I would like using this platform to tell people how we can use this coffee, not just buying coffee, but promoting Africa's conservation. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We shall not only be using this coffee as mere coffee, but when you buy this coffee, you'll be promoting Africa's conservation in the following ways I'm going to tell you. Running the poacher reform program. We shall use this coffee to run the poacher reform program. So far, I'm having two poachers who have already reformed. They have surrendered their weapons, as you can see there. They surrendered their weapons to Uganda Wildlife Authority. They surrendered them to me. I surrendered them to Uganda Wildlife Authority personnel. I'm very happy. These are my heroes. These are the heroes I know. I'm using these two men to take the conservation message through other fellow poachers. There are many poachers here, but they are not willing to reform. But when we get the funds through this coffee, I know we can use it. We move around, we spread the message of conservation, and the poachers will buy this message. So they will know what it means by conservation. They know animal lives matter. So they'll take the message. That's what I hope in the first loop. Another one is using the some of the proceeds from this coffee to run the orphanage. This is the orphanage that has 200 orphans whose
Oop. Okay, we're going to wait. Hopefully, Gilbert will be back right here with
parents
us.
were famous wind and sorry.
Sorry, Gilbert, we lost you there for a second. Can you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about the children in the orphanage?
Yeah. These are the children who lost their poacher parents in the national parks. So we know, as you can see there, we know that the parents had spread the message of hunting, of poaching in them. So we want to kill that message from these children, because when you have a parent, in most cases, these parents want to take the legacy of their parents. They think what their fathers were doing is the right thing, yet in actual sense it is not. Unfortunately, they are convinced, they are deceived in their minds. They know that they are okay. They think that um, what their fathers used to do is the only source of funding, is the only source of income. We want to rob this mentality from them. We want to rob this mentality from them so that they know there are other survival options, not poaching. First of all, through education. When these children are given education, of course, they will learn much about conservation and protecting the natural world. They will not go hunting. They will not go poaching. That's what I tell you. And then, like
Oh, okay, we lost Gilbert. He's going to be right back. As you guys know, he actually climbed up into a tree to get a signal to talk to us. He's coming back any second. While we're waiting for him, I just wanted to reiterate what Gilbert's been saying, because I know the signal's been a little difficult. It's a multifaceted issue. So Gilbert's number one approach is conservation. Now, the reason everything ties together, and we have to remember, poaching is a multifaceted issue that has to be dealt with. Most people that become poachers grew up with hunting, and hunting is a tradition, and they pass that tradition on. But what happens is these children that Gilbert was talking about, these children are orphans from poachers that were killed. And we have to remember, you see all these memes and you see people always cheering on when poachers get killed and there's all these problems. But these children come from parents that were killed that are poachers. Now, the reason they poach is to try to feed their children. So Gilbert is giving them a brand new way to earn money. And by earning money, not only are they saving the animals, but they are able to educate the children in a way that they will have a new way of providing and surviving. So the animals benefit, children benefit, and the community benefits. So I just wanted to reiterate that while we're waiting for Gilbert to come back in, because I know the signal's a little rough. Can you hear me, Gilbert? Are you back?
Yeah. I hope you can hear me right now.
Yes, you're good.
Yeah, service is not good here, but finally, I think you can hear me. So, when we rob this mentality, I know this is the only way we can promote African conservation. Not through, it's very, but through the young generation, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I know that's using the young generation.
Yes.
Coaching, yeah. They are old people, they have already seen a lot, they have not gone to schools. But when we tap this young generation, these young children, we can easily change the mindset, and then they love conservation. You find that they are the future conservationists, not the future poachers. That's what I
That is beautiful. These are the future conservationists, not the future poachers.
That's about the poacher. Yeah.
Now, Gilbert, what kind of challenges?
Exactly.
It's really beautiful because you have found a solution that benefits everybody. I mean, for one, organic coffee is just so much better for everybody that drinks it. But for two, you're saving the animals while saving and changing the children and offering people a new way. So often in conservation, people forget that to save the animals, we have to save the people. The people often become poachers and do these things out of necessity, to feed their families, to take care of their children. Generally, the poachers are not bad people, but they're people that are stuck in bad situations. And I love that you found a way to reach the adults and the children, because you are affecting true change for the future by changing the way things work now. You're changing business as usual. Can you tell me, how have the poachers taken to this changeover from making a living poaching to working in the organic coffee industry? Nope. Okay, he's frozen again.
Reformed poachers that are these two poachers who surrendered their weapons to me, and then I surrendered the weapons to Uganda Wildlife Authority. They asked me for the survival option. Those ones, they asked me for the survival option, and then, as you know, I have my coffee. I've grown my personal coffee. It's not much, but it is there. So I decided to tell the people I was working with. We have Vera Kirgaisena. She's from Germany. So she has been funding these people to work on my coffee for a long time. She has seriously funded these people, and I'm very, very grateful for her. Yeah.
It's Vera.
So
Vera says hi
keep
right
them.
now.
Yeah. I love her. I love her so much. She's my superwoman in this program. Yeah. She has been funding these people and the orphans. So that's the only source of funding that has been there. So they have what to do, not poaching. You know, at times they have been going to poach in the national parks because they don't have land. They don't have land where to cultivate. So they opted for poaching. But right now, as I'm speaking, they are surviving, they are working, they are earning, and their families are surviving very well because there is medical insurance. Yeah, I've got medicine for these orphans. So everything is going on well right now, but I don't know how to go in the future. But still, I have hopes in the people I'm working with. Most especially, I recommend again Vera. She is a good lady. She has helped me a lot. So that's what they are doing. The poachers are there. They no longer go poaching. I'm very happy that some animals are saved. Animals from the game parks are saved because you know these African poachers, when they have already got the heart of poaching, they don't mind if they have killed 100 animals, 200 animals. They just kill. So saving these poachers, stopping these two poachers from poaching, it's a very, very big change because I know, you know, only two poachers can kill more than 100 animals in one day in a national park.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
So I'm very happy.
Gilbert, what kind of opposition do you face? You know, I mean, I know that the program's a success so far. Are people happy about it, or do you get some? Are people upset with what you're doing?
What I can tell you about this, of course, when this is the dangerous thing that I'm doing to the community, the people who have not yet understood what it means by conservation. They misunderstand you when you tell them to conserve the animals. They understand you otherwise, and then some of them will end up hating you. They'll end up seeing you as the enemy. They'll end up seeing you as a hypocrite, as someone who betrayed them to the Uganda Wildlife Authority, and they come and they attack them. So, but for people who have understood my message, are very happy with me. But those ones who have misinterpreted what I'm saying, of course, they cannot like me. That's what I tell you. That that's not something that can scare me because I know with time they'll come to understand what I'm doing.
Gilbert, how did you come up with the idea that you could help with poacher reform while growing organic coffee and still get the money to help these children? How did that idea strike you?
First of all, I know the Uganda's exports. Coffee is the major product of Uganda's exports, and then it is the commonest plant in my area. When you visit my home, you'll see that coffee everywhere you go is coffee in my area. So I know, and it is highly demanded worldwide. I was there. I thought of how can I promote this? How can I export this coffee and I see, you know, there is Lynn, Hillary was the first source of my inspiration. She inspired
Hmm.
me a lot, and she gave me the idea that if I can use this coffee, maybe we can do something good. And then I consulted Villa Kigali roasteries in Germany. By story by story, day by day, day by day. So when I saw you having the programs about coffee, Eric, I was like, no, I should introduce this topic to you and see how you can help me. Thank you very much.
I'm really happy to be able to offer this and to share this with everybody. Just so you guys know, Heather Lynn, who Gilbert started working with, is here on the show right now, and so is Vera. They're both here, and I don't know if you can read it, Gilbert, but Heather says Vera is an amazing and fascinating woman. I adore her more than words. And Vera says, I'm no superwoman, Gilbert. You're the hero. And Gilbert, I have to agree with her because what you're doing really is very innovative. You're not coming up with some, far out idea. You're actually making a change to your local area, to all the people that are around you, and you're saving the environment. And to combine all of those elements is an amazing thing. So one thing I want to share with everybody that's watching the show right now is the beauty of this is you can get Gilbert's organic coffee no matter where you are in the world. Now, Gilbert is still working out a way to get the coffee out to everybody, but you can either go to his Facebook page, you can contact me, and I will contact Gilbert, and we will find a way to help you purchase the coffee and get that coffee out to you. And you have to remember that every bag of coffee that you purchase is helping the children. There's over 200 orphan children that Gilbert helps on a daily basis. And these kids, a lot of them are orphans and poachers that were killed. So we have to remember there's no one-sided simple solution. Gilbert has found three very complicated topics: conservation, poaching, and children that are orphaned. And he has found a way to help all three, one simple, positive, organic way of doing that. So everybody, while Gilbert's on, please feel free to ask him questions. My friend, Vegan of Love, says, Gilbert, my online shop is called the Vegan Center. I would love to see if you can collaborate there to sell your important coffee to vegans. Please email me at info@thevegancenter.com. Lorraine, I will make sure that Gilbert gets that email. And I thank you for offering that to him, because he and I were just talking earlier about it, and there's a lot of complications for him to get this coffee out. And we have to remember that Gilbert's not making money doing this. Gilbert is raising money doing this. This is a true selfless hero, and I'm so excited to have him on the show. Coralie says, be safe, brave Gilbert. Be safe. And it's true. You have to watch yourself. I know there's a lot of things going on. My friend Aitor Sweat says, big up yourself, Gilbert. And I think that is a beautiful compliment right there. Heather says, Gilbert is one of the most fearless heart and souls of love and light I've ever been blessed to meet. He's been met with opposition within his community and has faced it bravely and fearlessly. He has more honor and integrity than most of the people I've ever met. Gilbert is truly a hero of our time. Heather, I could not agree with you more. Gilbert is wonderful. So, not only is Gilbert an amazing guy, but Gilbert is creating a model that will work in the way to solve problems all around the world. And again, he's taken three very complicated problems: conservation, poaching, and children that need help. And he has found a way to help all three of them through organic coffee. And you got to remember, Gilbert's coffee has no pesticides. It is fully organic, and it puts reformed poachers to work. So I think we may have lost Gilbert today, but please, like I said, you can get in contact with myself or Gilbert. Lorraine and I will make sure that Gilbert gets your email and get you two introduced so that he can start selling his coffee through there. And you guys have to remember that the more coffee he sells, the more children he helps. So Gilbert sent over some videos to me, and I want to share these with you guys. Look at those beautiful smiles. Just makes you kind of tear up when you see those kids. Here's some of the poachers that. Now, those are very brave souls too, because those guys are rejecting an easy way for them to make money. And you got to remember, the poachers are usually very much victims of the system. They're people that are just trying to feed their families. You know, I'm not excusing poaching because we have to save animals. Like Gilbert said, that 2 poachers can kill over 100 animals a day. So imagine those 2 guys save over 700 animals a week. And if you start to do the multiplication, that will save the world. Now, here's another beautiful video Gilbert sent with the kids I want to share with everybody. So there it is. You know, you can see the joy, you can see the happiness, and you have to imagine these children have been through a lot, and they're still dancing, they're still smiling. Gilbert is giving them an ability to have a good life. Now, you know, if you're unable to get Gilbert's coffee, like I said, get in contact with me, get in contact with Gilbert. Soon it'll be available at the Vegan Center, which is going to be a tremendous boost for Gilbert and his work. But I wanted to also give everybody, basic symbols that, you know, you got to remember that all coffee is generally based on exploitation of people. So I just wanted to put this up for you. These are a couple of the symbols you can look for when you're buying coffee that will let you know if your coffee is good or not. There's the Rainforest Alliance, there's the Fair Trade, and there's a few other. Now the UTZ is a very good symbol, but I will say that some of the coffee places that were listed on the dirty list by Brazil, which is a biannual list that they do put out on dirty coffee producers, some of those coffee producers, including Starbucks, was registered with the UTZ, dropped soon after that. But we have to remember, things are not always as they appear. And, you know, on the show, we always talk about revolution through routine. So remember, you can change the world by just changing one purchasing habit that you have. And Gilbert has shown us how to do that. Sherry says, Eric, send us his info, and would also love to carry his coffee in our store. That is wonderful. Sherry, thank you. I will send that over to you as soon as the show is over. It should be up in the next 45 days. Beautiful. If we can start getting Gilbert's coffee out, imagine how many children we can help. Imagine how many animals we can help. Imagine how many poachers we can help. You can't just tell people to stop poaching. You have to give people a way to survive. And again, Gilbert is one of my personal heroes because he has done that. And he has done that in such an innovative fashion. Heather says, those papers that the children are holding up are drawings that they made for the Children's Fine Art Collection, which directly benefits orphans in the program. So they do use art as a form of art therapy. And also the art that they're holding up is going to be for sale. And I know Heather is currently working on finding ways to help sell that art and make more money for these children. Vera says, I love them all. And Vera, Gilbert said thank you to you, and we all have a big thank you to you as you work to fight for these children and fight for the future. And Heather says, imagine the children all drew artwork with their ages and names on them so that the children can be sponsored. When the people purchasing the artwork can probably display these drawings on their wall, the proceeds directly benefit these children in the way of food, medicine, educational supplies, etc. Now, I was talking to Gilbert earlier. It's not cheap. He has a lot of expenses. Very often, if the coffee doesn't make enough, he makes the change himself and pays for the shortage himself. He has a lot of stuff he has to do. Heather says they may also contract Gilbert to purchase the children's artwork, which is great. So guys, there's lots of ways to help these kids. And you got to remember, you're saving the animals, you're saving these orphans, you're giving them medicine, you're giving them food, and you're offering a brand new way for the poachers, which is a way to change the old way of doing business. If we go back to our quote from Socrates, we have to remember it's not good enough to just discuss what happened. It's more important that we look at how we can do things in the future, because only by doing that will we create a path that can truly change the future. And I love what Gilbert said. You're not looking at future poachers. You're looking at future conservationists. Sierra says, what an amazing community we have here. When we work together, we can do so many good things for people, animals, and the planet. Absolutely, Sierra. I agree 100%. And it's beautiful that everybody's been able to join us today, that we got to talk to Gilbert. I think his signal is out. We're not going to be able to get him back. But I wanted to say thank you, Gilbert. If you're watching, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for doing what you are doing and changing the world around you. And yes, everybody, one person can change the world. Don't let anybody ever tell you any different. Sherry did say, I love this so much, a man of solutions. And art therapy is important. Heather, talk to Tex. Oh, I always making the best of the words. Sherry says, if I can get info on selling the art, also could be carried in the store. Heather, email me, sasrq57@gmail.com. I'll make sure you guys all get your introductions as soon as the show has ended. So everybody, remember, revolution through routine. You can change the world by changing one thing that you purchase. And everybody loves coffee. Treat yourself to good organic coffee, and treat yourself to coffee that can change the world. And you'll not only be helping the world, you'll feel great about every sip that you take every day that you're out there. And Joseph says, that's a wonderful, good job, Gilbert. Joseph actually, by the way, everybody, is going to be one of our guests coming up this month. Joseph is another man who is making a huge change in the world where he lives, and he's another amazingly inspiring person that we are going to feature on an upcoming show. So everybody, thank you for joining today. I really appreciate it. Remember, coffee, we can change the story of coffee from colonial exploitation, to something positive, conservation that can change the world for the benefit of the environment and the people that live in it. It's all interconnected. We can't change one without the other. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This was an amazing episode. Having on one of my personal heroes, Gilbert, has been one of the highlights of the show for me. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Remember, it's our world. We have to talk about it, because if we talk about it, we can always change it. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful Saturday, and we'll see you again soon.